Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 Shruti Sharma.
Good evening, aspirants. Welcome to the Hindu News Analysis discussion brought to you by ForumIAS for the date 6th May 2023. These are the list of news articles for today's discussion. We will be covering 5 topics, each from governance, environment, international relations, and a topic from science. Alongside this, we will also be covering 2 previous year prelims questions and a mains practice question. So with this, straight away, let us move to our first topic. First topic, no stay on screening of the Kerala story, says Kerala High Court. You would have come across a movie named The Kerala Story. The trailer of that movie raised controversy that is more of political nature. We don't need that from exam point of view. But the news is that writ petitions were filed asking the High Court to bar the film from screening it. But the High Court has said that movie does not contain anything offensive to any particular community. And moreover, the CBFC had examined the movie and found it suitable for screening. So the High Court declined to restrict the screening of the movie. So from exam point of view, we will know what is CBFC and the objectives, as well as the increasing role of CBFC beyond the traditional jurisdiction. With that, let us also see about the draft cinematograph bill 2021, which was in news recently. CBFC, it stands for Central Board of Film Certification. See, Central Board of Film Certification is a statutory body. That is, the board is established under a law made by the Parliament, and they function under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Know that this board's function is to regulate the public exhibition of films under the provisions of Cinematograph Act of 1952. That is, they will check the films before they are released in theatres and screened to the public. They ensure that age-appropriate content is provided to the audience who come and watch the movies in theatre. To be precise, CBFC tells the audience how this movie is featured. That is, about the nature of violence, sexual content, and abusive language if they are used in the movies. The board members will be knowing it as any movie before screening to the public should be shown to the CBFC members. And know that films can be publicly exhibited in India only after they have been certified by this CBFC board. See, the board consists of non-official members and a chairman, all of whom are appointed by the central government, and they all function with headquarters in Mumbai. Also, it has 9 regional offices, one each at Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Bengaluru, Thiruvananthapuram, Hyderabad, New Delhi, Cuttack, and Guwahati. And these regional offices are assisted by advisory panels for verifying the films before release. The members of the panel are nominated by the central government for a period of 2 years. Most importantly, you have to know that the certification process is done based on the provisions of Cinematograph Act 1952, the Cinematograph Rules 1983, and the guidelines issued by the central government. According to these provisions, at present, films are certified under 4 categories. They are U, UA, A, and S categories. U stands for Unrestricted Public Exhibition. Unrestricted public exhibition, but with a word caution. That is, it signals parental discretion for children below 12 years. That is what you call U bar A. A category means films that are restricted to adults. Only adults above 18 years of age can watch it. Films certified as A will have more violent and sexual content, so its access is restricted. If we take the S category, films restricted to any special class of persons are called S category. Using these certifications, the CBFC can ask the directors of the film to remove certain violent, sexual, and content with abusive languages so that they could get U bar A certifications. This is because U or U bar A certifications will have a larger audience, and so there will be higher profit for the filmmaker. By this way, the CBFC will bring down the contents that promote violence or sexual abuse and abusive language. Here, beyond regulating the violence or sexual contents and use of abusive language, the CBFC has extended its jurisdiction. That is, it has extended its scope of regulation. Because nowadays, CBFC is also more concerned about the integrity of the states and having a good relationship with the foreign nations. Going beyond that, it is asking the filmmakers to remove references to government authorities like the use of words Prime Minister in the film. And moreover, if the filmmakers are not satisfied with the certifications or proposals by the CBFC members, filmmakers now cannot even approach an appellate tribunal. Because in the year 2021, Film Certification Appellate Tribunal was also abolished. So if there is any dissatisfaction with the orders of CBFC, the filmmakers have to approach the high courts now. We know, right, how long it takes to get a final judgment in a court. Let's see about the provisions of Draft Cinematograph Bill 2021 in short. First of all, you have to know about two committees that deals with film certification and freedom of expression. They are Justice Mukul Mutkal Committee of 2013 and Shyam Banegal Committee of 2016. Only based on these two committee recommendations, the bill was drafted. See, Section 5B in the Cinematography Act deals with the guidance in certifying films. Such provision is based on the Article 19, Sub-Article 2 of the Constitution, which deals with reasonable restrictions of freedom of speech and expression. Know that under the draft bill, the Union government can order for re-examination of an already certified film if there is any complaint about the film. So this means the certification provided by CBFC before screening the movie in a theatre is not final and they are subjected to future complaints. This is said to be violation of Section 5B of the Cinematograph Act of 1952. In addition to it, the Union government also has the power to reverse the decision of the board. That is, Union government will have the power to reverse the decision taken by CBFC. So here the critics say that power of the statutory board is undermined because of such political interventions in film certification. And moving forward, the bill proposed for subdivision of existing UA category. The provisions related to U bar A certification category are said to be amended so that subdivision of the existing U bar A category are done into age-based categories like U bar A 7+, U bar A 13+, U bar A 16+. This is more specific in giving age-appropriate content to the public. Because of the increase in role of political executives in film certification, critics argue that free flow of information will be restricted in our country. Secondly, the film industry in India runs on profit motive, right? If there are unwanted interventions from the government, it will affect the ease of doing business in the country. In addition, it will also restrict the creativity of filmmakers and actors. These are the areas that need to be reformed so that Article 19 of 1, which grants freedom of speech and expression, can be ensured to the public along with the necessary intervention of CBFC. So CBFC can also reduce the violent, sexual, abusive contents in the movies. So that is all about the article here. In this article, we saw about CBFC and also about the provisions of draft cinematograph bill that was in news recently. With this, let us close the topic here. Second topic, Center looks into options to counter EUs Carbon Tax Plan. See, European Union is taking steps to introduce a new tax mechanism in order to reduce the greenhouse gas emission footprint. That tax mechanism is what we call as Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. The carbon tax is said to be imposed on goods that are imported by Europe. This tax is expected to be applied from the year 2026. Right now, Indian government is watching the progress of this move and the government is trying to figure out the effect that the tax will have on Indian exports. So from this discussion, let us know more about carbon tax, the need for it. See, A carbon tax is a tax that is levied on fuels that have carbon content in it. Research show that carbon tax effectively reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Economists generally argue that carbon taxes are the most efficient and effective way to curb climate change with the least adverse effect on the economy. This is where the CBAM takes advantage. The logic behind carbon border adjustment mechanism is that in Europe, dramatic moves have been made by the governments for decarbonization. In Germany, per capita annual carbon dioxide emissions have come down from the peak of 14.3 tons in 1980s to just 8.1 tons in 2021. So we can say decarbonization in the European Union produces a global public good, but it comes at the expense of European industries. EU voters are conscious that they are paying more for goods in return for reduced emissions, and carbon tax on goods produced within the country's border alone cannot reduce emissions, right? And such a move can shift carbon intensive production out of the European Union only, while rest of the world will not stop producing carbon intensive goods. So the global public good of decarbonization cannot be delivered, and moreover jobs in Europe would be lost if the carbon tax is solely nation bound. This has led to the idea of carbon border taxation. According to this, imports into EU will be taxed at the border. So this is said to reflect the market price of carbon within the European Union. By this way, this CBAM is set to achieve neutrality in the product pricing and also on the decision of a firm to either locate or shift from European Union. Here, two industries that matter today for Indian exporters are steel and aluminium. Firms that take steel and aluminium into EU are required to establish measurement systems about carbon intensity and deliver statements on it. Some in India urge the government to use India's diplomatic influence to get EU roll back its CBAM. This is likely to be an inferior strategy. We have to know European Union is only the first to introduce a carbon tax. Many other countries will surely follow it. And moreover, policymakers need to recognize this emerging landscape and better embed the carbon taxation mechanisms with Indian economy. Let us know why India also should adopt this move. Need for carbon tax. See, carbon dioxide is a heat trapping greenhouse gas which causes global emission. It damages the environment and human health also. We know greenhouse gas emissions comes from the combustion of fossil fuels, right? These GHGs are closely related to carbon content of the respective fuels. So this negative externality of GHG emissions can be compensated by taxing the carbon content of fossil fuels at any time in the product cycle of the fuel. By this way, carbon taxes offer a potentially cost-effective means of reducing GHG emissions. We all know air pollution is one of the biggest public concerns in the world, and India in particular today. After economic reforms, carbon emissions have increased because of high growth in the Indian economy, and emissions can be curbed only if people move away from the polluting fossil fuels and adopt greener forms of energy. To achieve this, we need carbon tax. The aim of carbon tax is to set a price on the carbon content of goods and services to discourage their use. If we take the effectiveness of this move, energy mix needs to be remodeled through investments in clean renewable energy and low emission bioenergy. For that, a part of carbon revenue generated from carbon tax can be used for systematic overhaul of the energy mix and in promotion of green energy. It raises the level of energy efficiency by investing in buildings, grid upgrades, and industrial efficiency using green technology. Then energy requires an additional 1.5% of GDP annually for the next 2 decades. So this amount can be obtained by carbon tax, which will be a revenue neutral policy with no implications of the fiscal deficit. Then high prices of the material or energy source according to their carbon contents will induce households, including the rich, to shift towards greener alternatives. Fourthly, it will provide more employment since the employment elasticity in greener forms of energy is higher than those in the fossil fuel based energy. Additionally, a significant part of more than 3% of India's GDP currently spent on pollution induced diseases will also come down. But in spite of this, there is another disadvantage associated with this carbon tax. That is, carbon tax is often said to be regressive in nature. See, carbon tax is inherently regressive as it puts the burden on the poorer people. The poor in India contribute the least to climate change but may face maximum brunt of carbon tax through rise in prices of various commodities and services. Thus, implementation of carbon tax and utilization of the proceeds for pollution control and augmenting health budget is a rational way to help poor. By implementing it in conjunction with the broader health and energy policy, it can help in redistribution and help poor to ward off negative impact of climate change. Thereby, the carbon tax can be made to act as a Pigovian tax which balances marginal social cost and additional emissions. But we have to know carbon tax will help in achieving goals under Paris Agreement, and it will also help to strengthen the global response to threat of climate change by keeping the global temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius. So it is a way forward for a sustainable, greener and better future. And at the end of the article, the EEPC India chairman suggests including primary iron and steel sector into the remission of duties and taxes on exported product scheme. So let us know about this scheme here. RODTEP is the latest attempt to intervene in export market and increase India's exports competitiveness. And know that it was launched by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. The RODTEP scheme has replaced the MEIS, which is the Merchandise and Service Exports Incentive Scheme, and also it has replaced the SEIS, which is the Service Exports Incentive Scheme. These two schemes, that is the MEIS and SEIS, were in violation of WTO norms. If we take the aims of the RODTEP scheme, see, certain taxes are incurred on goods and services at the manufacturing and distribution process. This scheme aims to reimburse all the taxes duties charged at all levels. But the condition is that taxes on goods and services should not currently refunded under any of the existing schemes. The refund under the scheme shall not be available in respect of duties and taxes already exempted or credited. Here the scheme seeks to rebate sales tax, excise duty, electricity duty, stamp duty, etc. The scheme covers nearly 8,555 tariff products, accounting for 75% of traded items and 65% of India's exports. The tax refund rates will vary between 0.5% to 4.3% of the exported value of goods. Know that the scheme covers sectors such as marine, agriculture, plastics, textiles, among others. But know that pharmaceutical, steel and chemicals have been kept out of the purview of this scheme. Then products manufactured at export-oriented units and special economic zones have also been excluded from the scheme. The rebate will be in form of electronic scrip or transferable duty that will be maintained in the electronic ledger by the Customs Department. By this way, this scheme is set to increase India's exports and its competitiveness. So that is all about the article. In this article, we saw about what is carbon border adjustment mechanism, the need for carbon tax, and about the remissions of duties and taxes on exported products scheme. With this, let us close the topic here. Third topic, Pakistan minister is a promoter of terror industry, says Jaishankar. SCO foreign ministers meeting got held recently. In that meeting, India's external affairs minister accused the Pakistan foreign minister for promoting terror industry in Pakistan. Also, India has chaired the SCO grouping this year. So from this article, let us know about SCO from exam point of view. See, SCO stands for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The main goal of the SCO is to strengthen mutual confidence and to promote good neighborly relations among the member countries. Then it also aims to promote effective cooperation in politics, trade, economy, science and technology, culture, as well as education, and among other fields. It also aims to joint efforts to maintain and ensure peace, security, and stability in the region, and to move towards the establishing of new democratic, just, rational political and economic international order. If we take the history of SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization got established in the year 2001 in Shanghai. The countries like Kazakhstan, China, Kyrgyzstan, Russian Federation, the Republic of Tajikistan, Uzbekistan came together to form such groupings. Before that, except for Uzbekistan, all other 5 countries were members of Shanghai 5. That was a political organization. See, initially the SCO focused on efforts to curb terrorism, separatism, and radicalization in Central Asian region. The charter of SCO was signed at St. Petersburg Summit 2002, which became a fundamental constituent document that describes SCO's objectives, its principles, its structures, etc. In addition, the SCO plans to take actions against international drug trafficking also, because international drug trafficking is a source of financing global terrorism that leads to disturbance in Central Asian region. But at the same time, SCO took up variety of economic activities as well. For example, in the year 2003, the heads of SCO members signed a 20-year program of multilateral trade and economic cooperation that provides for an establishment of free trade zone within the territory among SCO member states. After such successful measures of SCO, the organization planned to expand their influence by including India and Pakistan. For that, the historical meeting of Head of States Council of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization was held in the year 2017 in Astana. In that meeting, the status of full member of organization was granted to India and Pakistan. So as of now, there are 8 countries in SCO that are full-time members. They are India, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, China, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. They know that 4 other countries, namely Afghanistan, Belarus, Iran, and then Mongolia, have an observer status with the SCO. See, for achieving the organization objectives, it has established various structures. First is the RATS, which means Regional Anti-Terrorist Structure. It is the permanent body of the SCO that is based in Tashkent, which is the capital of Uzbekistan. The RATS structure operates in accordance with the SCO charter and also in accordance with Shanghai Convention to enforce combating measures against terrorism, separatism, and extremism in the region. Second one is the SCO Business Council. See, it is a non-government entity and its aim is to unite the business community from the SCO member states for an economic cooperation between the SCO countries. It can also lead to establishing direct relations and a dialogue between business and financial communities, thereby facilitating multilateral projects in the country. Finally, it is the SCO Interbank Consortium. It is established by the Council of Heads of Government. It provides funds and banking services for investment projects that are sponsored by the governments of SCO members. It mainly deals with providing funds for infrastructure projects, basic industries, high-tech industries, and social projects, etc. This is all about the history, objective, and structures of SCO. Let's close the topic here and move to the next one. Fourth topic, Government Program for Non-Communicable Diseases renamed. See, non-communicable diseases are also known as chronic diseases. They tend to be of long duration and they occur as a combination of genetic, physiological, environmental, and behavioral factors. The main type of NCDs are cardiovascular diseases like heart attack and stroke. Then cancers, chronic respiratory diseases, and diabetes are also form of non-communicable diseases. You should know here that the world is struggling with non-communicable diseases. Nearly 71% of all deaths worldwide occur due to NCDs such as hypertension, diabetes, cancer, etc. If we take the socio-economic impacts of NCDs, the non-communicable diseases threaten progress towards the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. That is, because SDGs has a target of reducing premature deaths from NCDs by one third by 2030. But rise in NCDs is causing distress on the public health institutions and the government to achieve the SDG target. Secondly, poverty is closely related with NCDs. The rapid rise in NCDs is predicted to impede poverty reduction initiatives in low income countries, particularly by increasing household costs associated with healthcare. Vulnerable and socially disadvantaged people get sicker and die sooner than people of higher social positions. This happens because the poorer sections are at great risk of being exposed to harmful products such as tobacco, unhealthy dietary practices, and have limited access to health services. In low resource settings, healthcare costs for NCDs quickly drain household resources. The exorbitant cost of NCDs, including expensive treatments, loss of breadwinners, force millions of people into poverty annually and stifle their development. To address the growing burden of NCD, the National Health Mission in the year 2010 launched the National Program for Prevention, Control of Cancer, Diabetes, Cardiovascular Diseases and Stroke. Now this has been renamed to National Program for Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases. The focus of this program is to strengthen infrastructure, human resource development, and early diagnosis and management of non-communicable diseases. Under the NPPC NCD program, non-communicable disease cells are established at national, state, and district level for program management. Besides this, there is also NCD clinics being set up at districts and CHC levels to provide services for early diagnosis and follow-up for common non-communicable diseases. The provisions has been made under the program to provide free diagnostic facilities and drugs for patients attending the NCD clinics. Fourthly, cardiac care units are also being set up in identified districts for providing facilities for emergency cardiac care. Daycare centers at the identified districts are also set up to provide facilities for cancer care. Now let us see the main strategies of the program. See, first strategy is the health promotion through behavioral change. This is done through involvement of community, civil society, etc. Then there are outreach camps which are envisaged for health screening at all levels in the healthcare delivery system. It is done from sub-centers and above in order to detect diabetes, hypertension, and common cancers. Thirdly, this program manages chronic non-communicable diseases, especially cancer, diabetes, through early diagnosis, treatment, and follow-up through setting up of NCD clinics. As I said earlier, then they target to build capacities at various levels of healthcare for prevention, early diagnosis, and research and rehabilitation. Then this program provides support for cost-effective treatment at primary, secondary, and tertiary levels of healthcare. Finally, know that the program provides support for development of database of NCDs through a robust surveillance system and to monitor the NCD morbidity, mortality, and risk factors. And then here you must know that the funds are being provided to states under the NCD FlexiPol through state program implementation plans. The center to states share is in the ratio 60:40 for the general category states. In case of northeastern and hilly states, center will provide 90% of share, while the 10% of funds comes under the responsibility of state government. Here know that non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, chronic kidney disease also have been added under the national program. So that is why the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare decided to rename the NPCDCS as National Program for Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases. So that is why this article was in news. So with this, let us close this topic here. Fifth topic, switching on India's smart electricity future. This opinion section is about smart electricity meters. Let us see that from exam point of view. A smart meter is an electronic device that records information such as consumption of electric energy, voltage levels, current and power load. What it will do is it will communicate these information to the consumers for greater clarity of consumption behavior, and it will provide the consumption details to electricity suppliers for system monitoring and customer billing. The move towards smart meters was announced in the Union Budget 2020-21. In that budget, smart metering of electricity consumption is one key measure being adopted by India to alleviate the financial distress of electricity distribution companies. But why did we move towards smart metering? See, smart metering are expected to improve metering and billing efficiencies. So in turn, it will increase DISCOM's revenue. The revenue gap of DISCOMs have been increasing and were exacerbated by the pandemic. Further, the DISCOMs dues to power generators have been piling up and are now estimated to be around 70,000 crores. Thus, significant investments in smart meters is being proposed by the central government as a remedy to it. So, a large-scale rollout is justified on expectation of vast improvement in payment and collection efficiency. However, crucial issues need to be addressed before the state electricity regulatory commissions approve statewide rollouts. Now, let us see the issues here. First is there seems to be discrepancies within data sets of national smart metering programs. Secondly, not much information is available in the public domain on other aspects of the program implementation. Thirdly, consumer trust over smart meters is declining. In Uttar Pradesh in the year 2020, nearly about 160,000 smart metered consumers faced automatic disconnection of supply as a result of system fault. Fourthly, data privacy is another issue. Smart meter data can reveal sensitive information that is analyzed from electricity usage patterns. In this opinion section, the author has provided us 4 solutions to this problem. Let us see that one by one. First is the nationwide campaign to educate consumers. The author suggests the Ministry of Power to undertake nationwide campaign to educate the energy consumers about the benefits of smart metering. Hence, we could persuade the common people to adopt smart metering. Along with the nationwide campaign, the ministry should make sure that the apps used along with the smart meters are highly consumer friendly and accessible to them. Only then user satisfaction can be attained. Second thing is the DISCOMs must co-own the program. See, as majority of smart meters in India are being deployed by the advanced metering infrastructure service providers, but DISCOMs do not take much responsibility in implementation of this program. So author suggests DISCOMs to have a role here. For this, author suggests DISCOMs to strengthen their internal capacity through suitable staffing and training interventions. Third suggestion is that the focus should be on transparent, accountable and participatory mechanism to ensure that full benefits of large-scale investments are indeed obtained. This can be done when DISCOMs, system integrators, technology providers collaborate to devise innovative and scalable data solutions. Only through joint action, the full potential of smart meters can be obtained. Finally, the author stresses upon regulations. She says regulators should put in place a set of provisions that covers various aspects of data sharing, protocols, purposes, grievance redressal, security, etc. These are few suggestions that are put forward to ensure India meets its growing electricity demand while decarbonizing its generating sources. So that is all about the article here. In this article, we saw about smart meters and the suggestions from the author. With this, let us close the news article discussion. Now coming to the previous year prelims questions, the 2 questions that we are going to discuss now has appeared in 2018 prelims. So kindly listen. First question, consider the following statements. Statements given are: Statement 1, as per the Right to Education Act, to be eligible for appointment as a teacher in a state, a person would be required to possess the minimum qualification laid down by the concerned State Council of Teacher Education. This statement is wrong because as per the RTE Act, National Council for Teacher Education has laid down the minimum qualification for a person to be eligible for appointment as a teacher. So if we remove the first statement, either 2 or 3 has to be correct. Now let us consider the second statement. As per the RTE Act, for teaching primary classes, a candidate is required to pass a teacher eligibility test conducted in accordance with the National Council of Teacher Education guidelines. This statement is correct. Okay, this is according to the RTE Act only, that is the Right to Education Act only. So the answer for this question is option B, 2 only. Now let us see the third statement also. It says in India, more than 90% of teacher education institutions are directly under the state government. No, this is wrong. Nearly 90% of teacher education institutions are operating under private control. So this statement is wrong. The answer for this question is option B, 2 only. Coming to the second question, consider the following statements. Statement 1, in India, state government do not have the power to auction non-coal mines. Statement 2 says Andhra Pradesh and Jharkhand do not have coal mines. Statement 3 says Rajasthan has iron ore mines. Which of the following statements given above is or are correct? The options given are option A 1 and 2, option B 2 only, option C 1 and 3 only, option D 3 only. First statement says state government do not have the power to auction non-coal mines. This is wrong statement. Unlike coal, the auction of mining licenses of non-coal minerals is conducted by the respective state governments. So first statement is wrong. If we remove the first statement, either 2 or 3 has to be correct. Iron ores are located in Bhilwara in Rajasthan. So statement 3 is correct. Okay. So the answer for this question is option D, 3 only. Now coming to the mains practice question. Question 1. Discuss the various factors leading to increasing burden of non-communicable diseases in India. Mention the important steps taken by the government in combating NCDs. Aspirants can take note of this question. You can write answers and post it in the comment section for peer review of it. So with this, let us wind up our discussion here. If you like the video, please give like, share, subscribe to ForumIAS Academy in various social media platforms for further update. Thank you for listening.